Well, good morning for me. Good afternoon for you. Glad you're along. Hello, everybody. Dan Vaughn with you. Monarchs Mocha. I've got the cap on, which means probably not out of bed very long, right? Let's roll the open in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk some Monarchs baseball. Here we go. The internet here can be dodgy at best. And let me see if I can fix that while we're chatting here. Yeah, it can be a little spotty at best here at the old hotel in Sioux City where we're at. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. Let me get everything sort of sorted here. It's dragging, so I'm just gonna bring this down. I don't know why we have such internet trouble. So much internet trouble. I thought it was my computer, but I'm looking at the bars here and it's like one bar. It's like, and I'm on my tether. It's such a bizarre deal. Because I was afraid using the hotel internet because it was just, well, now it's back. Hotel internet was like a surfboard. Anyway, welcome to the show. Let me check the audio, see how we're doing here. I hope I'm not peaking too loud. If I am, I will bring it down just a bit here. I'm glad you guys are along. Late night arrival. That rain delay yesterday pushed us arrival back to about 10 to 4, 3:30, something like that. I honestly don't. It's still playing. Stop playing. There, that'll help. Anyways, something like that. There we go. All right. Sorry about the rough look here. Again, is the I'll pull a little. Should I move closer and scare y'all to death, or should I move back? It's so early for us. I haven't got my workout in yet, so we didn't get into late. But that's part of what happens. We had a rain delay yesterday. Really good surface there in Kane County at Geneva, Northwest Medicine Field. Great playing surface, and they were able to get that thing ready to go. The rain pretty much. I got to tell you, I thought several different things. Yeah, nice hat. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate it. I got to tell you, I had little doubt we'd play. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good to see you. I don't know why is my chat not working here? DB's chat's not working. Not sure why, but anyway, I guess it will in a minute. But thanks, Tito. Appreciate it, mate. Again, waking up there, my first reaction was, boy, we're probably not going to play ball. But then I thought about, that facility's been doing it a long time. They've got a really good field. I would say behind the Lincoln field, that might be the second best field. Now, not overall. Lincoln's the overall best field. I think that Fargo's got a good outfield. We haven't seen Winnipeg yet, so I reserve judgment there. But it's pretty solid grass field. Our warning track's really good, drains well. I'm talking from a draining perspective. They had a little standing water on the warning tracks, but it drained pretty quick. Remember, it's an old Midwest League affiliated field, and most of those Midwest League fields, even in my time in Iowa, in Burlington, they had some kind of system in most of these fields installed, in major league organizations would even sometimes help foot the cost to pull that water out. Not major pump systems, but and I don't know if there's one there, but I'm pretty sure there was. I know there used to be. And most of those leagues, and even like I said, Burlington had a small system, very small drainage system. It wasn't a pump, but it was a drain system, which I think I talked about before. That one year opening day, the drains actually froze over and caused it to back up and make a make it look like Washington crossing the Delaware with chunks of ice in the outfield. So there's that. But anyway, you guys want to hear about that? It's summertime, right? Glad you're on, taking questions and comments. I guess I should pull those up too. So I'm not seeing all of them here. There we go. There we go. Let's see here. Yeah, let's not forget about last week. ASAP. Let's forget about last week. Let's forget about last week. Let's yes, there we go. Why am I not seeing your comments, folks? Let me try something here. I turn them off and on, and that'll maybe help. It may be the internet, so I'll open up my phone here. All the games are canceled. It's funny because I used to. It's funny, Stinny, you say that. The Texas Rangers are dreadful, right? That's the team I followed growing up. And I used to tell my staff, and I've said this a couple of times to Jackson. I think he's heard me say this, maybe last year, but a lot of times, hey Dan, what happened to your Rangers? And I'd say, oh, they got rained out, because they're dreadful. I'd say, oh, they got rained out. Oh, they got rained out. Especially against teams of friends of mine, like they're playing the rare time they'd play the Cubs or somebody people I knew a lot of fans of. I thought, oh, they got rained out. Well, it was a rain out, right? So anyway, rough week, but it's behind us. The beauty of this league is that we are now into week 2 of August. Week 2, hopefully better than week 1. Week 1 didn't go very well. But I think there was, and I thought about this a bit this morning, getting up some extenuating circumstances. And I'm going to here comments are coming now. Okay, here we go. There are oftentimes, for some reason, I can't see one's comments. It's interesting. I don't know. I think some of that is a little bit of the internet. I think this system I use, which is a really good system. I love Be Live. By the way, if you are into streaming, shows and stuff, and doing things, not streaming shows, doing your own shows, they're good. They're good product. It's not probably the best. There we go. One-way blocking, Stino says. They're not all the bells and whistles, but they got enough. And I've talked about this a little bit before the off season. I have a system called OBS, which I use with another product called Stream Deck, which is really bad A, where I can push the buttons and everything just is so very TV fade in and fade out. It makes the Stream Deck makes most league streams look like somebody in his basement, because this thing does all what I want it to do. This is a little more elementary, but it's easy to set up, and I don't have to carry the extra gear, and it's also on the fly, and I can get it up and going. I can convert this over for the booth cam tonight. Well, we have Monarchs Live. When I go to booth cam, which I got to flip over, I can do that in a matter of about 30 seconds. So anyway. So yeah, let's see. I hope I don't care about Morgan said Sunday is bar. I know you don't care. Morgan said Sunday is bark in the park. Yes. Talked to Morgan this morning. She's working hard already. Oh, here we go. There we go. Sometimes okay. Well, now I'm seeing you guys come through. It may be my internet. It may be my internet's so slow here that's taking a while. But anyway, where was I? I get derailed about all this. Well, anyway, I was talking about this morning about the week that was. Now, we've had a very smooth season for the most part. Now, injuries have happened. We've had really the injuries which are going to happen for anybody. Guys miss starts. Guys get tweaked. That's going to happen. The Gabby Guerrero distraction. I say distraction. I don't mean that he was a distraction, but that was. You guys do derail me easily. You guys are derailers. You can drive me down a rabbit hole so quickly. Hope it's like I look up and the next thing I know I'm talking about pizza, right? Just like that. Anyway, Gabby wasn't a distraction. That situation was a distraction, hanging over the head of the ball club, and it hung over the head, as we've learned, as Joe told us, for a number of days. And it was. By the way, I'm not having coffee yet because I'm about to work out, so I'm hydrating. And besides, there's no coffee. There's coffee in the hotel, but maybe tomorrow we'll go find some coffee down in Sioux City. There was a coffee shop I liked a lot. Used to do a show at when I was with the Railcats the first year that I did these shows. So maybe we'll try that out. Anyway, we're doing Monarchs DB's water today. But we we've had that distraction, and that, but that was a bit of a bump. But other than that, it's been fairly steady. And what I mean by that is, it's been as steady as a season can be. Now, I mean, I'm not saying we've had some ups and downs. I mean, losing Gabby was huge, right? And when you had some injuries, we've had guys miss starts. Remember we lost Matt Hall, right? I mean, Hall goes to the Giants organization. So there's been some ebbs and flows, but it's all been kind of spread out over the course of the season, right? You have them like this. We suddenly had this whoop and whoop and whoop. Had a really nice series at Sioux Falls to close out July, to win 19 games in July, and had a really run at a 6-game winning streak, and really doing what we were doing. Um, and then we wind up that game on Sunday a week ago in Sioux Falls. We kind of let it get away from us 5-1, and then go to the week in Kane County. Flip the coin in Kane County. They survived the 6 games. We had a bit of a rough time. But I would tell you that we've had a lot of things happen in 7 days, because I looked up last night, or in the game, on my score sheet, all 3 outfielders we had playing at one point, 3 of them weren't members of the team when we started that series with Kane County on Tuesday, and only one of them was actually only one of them played in the first 3 games there. And actually, that we go back, and I said this in the broadcast yesterday, the trade we make last week on Wednesday, the night before, the guy we traded, Willie Abreu, had 4 hits. So the lineup card is different from Tuesday to what we got to on Friday. Now, you can, I told you guys before, and I'm not going to I'll rehash it a little bit. Hey, Kenny, good to see you out there. Solid fielding, hitting, pitching. Maybe that would be our slump. Yeah, interesting to note too, Kenny, that Sioux City's playing really good. They've swept. Did you know they swept Chicago this year? They beat Chicago all 6 times. So Chicago is the best team in the East by 6, 7 games? It have been. And they swept them. But as soon as I say that, we saw a similar situation, which I find very ironic. We came here after sweeping Chicago and lost 3 games here, right? Remember that? And they come home sweeping Chicago and now play us, who just got swept. Something's got to give, right? Right? Something's got to give. So yeah, what did I miss here? I got you guys here. Hope says we're going this weekend. So very odd coming back to the field next week. Half the new lineup, learn them quickly. Yes, you will. It's funny you bring that up. I kind of joked about having another media day, another onboarding day. We do have some photos to take. You're going to like these gentlemen. Lost you for a moment. Believe I'm back. 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 Come on back. Come on back. Come on back. There we go. Back. Why is the hack crooked, by the way? Yeah, dreadful internet here. Dreadful internet. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, I'm back. Okay. Where were we? Oh, yes. Talk about the week. Yeah, so it's been, we're going to have to get to know some new guys. But yeah, I think that you make a trade, and what you didn't have happen, and I told you guys this on the broadcast yesterday, you made a trade on Wednesday. You knew you were going to sign Ryan Grote. John Ryan gets hurt the next day. You can't control that, right? That's not something you can control. That just happens. And then I would tell you that I believe, and I don't have any evidence of this, but I'm pretty sure this is the case, that Joe had already made plans on Malik Smith to be here and Jacob Robson as well. That those plans are already in the works during the week. Now, probably, I know in Robson's case, he had some travel issues. He didn't arrive till the middle of the game on Friday, right? Remember we talked about that. We had it happened twice this weekend, by the way. I've never had that happen in my career. Twice this weekend, guys get off. And now you used to say out of the taxi cab and went the field, out of the Uber and went the field. I mean, went on the lineup card. We literally got out. We started the game and they were somewhere en route on the Uber, right? That's the fact. I think in Robson's case, he was driving from wherever, and then he drove over from where he was at. I think Toledo, and then pardon me, Gio Bruce's case, he was on an Uber from Milwaukee. I mean, literally, guys get out of the car, walk to the clubhouse, and there's no one there because everybody's out in the dugout or in the bullpen. We're playing a ball game. They grab their uniform, throw it on, and walk in the dugout. Oh, I'm here. And then Joe put them both in. I mean, that happened twice this weekend, and I can't recall it happening more than maybe once. I've done this a while. Since 93, I did 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000. Took a break, came back in 12. And I think I've only had that happen maybe twice. And never back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but same series. I mean, we haven't had that at all. Yeah, it was crazy. She's not ducking you, Chris, is she? We're all ducking you, Sneedo. We all are. We all are. But yeah. And again, and again, all these things sort of happen, but again, no one's gonna. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you the reasons why. These aren't excuses. These are reasons. They're facts. I mean, you've had to kind of piecemeal things together a little bit this week, and then, oh, by the way, we've kind of not talked about it a lot, but the concussion thing we talked about a lot in the air. Chad Laguerre sadly can't play because of concussion issue. I mean, that's a guy that was contributing, right? I mean, we kind of glossed over that a little bit. Like, oh, by the way, and then of course you have your normal, waiting for John to go on the John Hernandez watch. And then of course John Harris goes down, leaves the ball game. Matt Hall has to be moved to Tuesday. And there's a lot of these little things that have happened while all this has gone on. And in a normal season, if you don't, we'll say you don't make all those moves aren't coming and going. The little bugs here and there, you're gonna go for the bumps, but you had a lot of things happen in one. I don't think I've ever been in this seat with Kansas City where all that happened in one stretch. We've had some busy times. I mean, recall the trade, Zach Walters trade back in 2017 and 18, both times. That brought you Noah Perio Jr. And I go back to Noah Perio Jr. You guys remember in 2018? Anybody remember that far? Who's been around since 18? Okay. Noah Perio Jr. was playing for St. Paul, and the Monarchs had a guy named Zach Walters, who was a very good player for us, very loved. Zach now is a United States Air Force Special Forces guy, I believe, out in Nevada, former big leaguer. He was a really big part of things here, probably in the most impressive bat the club had in 17-18. He got signed off the club in 17, brought back at 18. During the 18 championship run, he was swapped for Noah Perio Jr. in about, well, I can tell you, I remember we were going to Lincoln tail end of July, early August, about this same time. An even swap for about the last 30 games or so. I think it was a 30-game sample size. And Noah Perio Jr., who had an up and down year at St. Paul, Zach had an up and down year in Kansas City. They evenly swapped, and that trade sort of solidified both clubs. And Kansas City would go on and, remember, play Zach Walters and those Saints in the finals. But Noah Perio Jr. would go on to be your MVP in the postseason. He was your MVP of the championship series in 2018. And he was acquired very late. That was a club that had Ryan Brett that was picked up in July, another piece, very much like a Jacob Robeson. So Robson. It's Robson, by the way. I've clarified that's Robson, not Robson. Robson. You know, King County kept calling Robson. It's Robson. So I see some similarities, and of course, we don't know. The fun part about it is we don't know, but I'm telling you, yeah, Noah played in Sioux City. You're right, he did. Do you remember that? I think he's playing down in Mexico. I think he is. I looked him up recently. I mean, look that up while we're talking here. I might as well look that up while we're chatting, because I just looked him up about 2 months ago. Yeah, let's see. I think he's down in Mexico playing. Let's just see here. I'm here. Yeah, he's playing in Monclova. He's played the last 2 years, 3 years. He's been down in Mexico since 2000. His last domestic season was in Kansas City in 18. He's been in Mexico 19. Of course, he didn't play the 20 season, but he's played 21, 22. Played in Puebla, and he's played in Monclova the last 2 years. Wow. How about that? But yeah, again, so I just kind of walked all over the place here. But again, all these things have happened in a normal week. You're going to have the ebbs and flows, but they all kind of happen at once. And that happens sometimes. I remember telling my mom at dinner Saturday night that I felt like I was, at the table, at the blackjack table, and I'm doing everything right. Have you ever heard this statement from a gambler? I'm doing all right, I'm just not winning. Well, sometimes it happens. I split the aces, still lost. I doubled down where I was supposed to, still lost. Doubled down, played it right, still lost. I doubled down, hit 21, the dealers got blackjack. I mean, I pushed, So sometimes it happens like that. But I would tell you, if you're doing things right, you're going to be okay. Now, you're on blackjack set up to lose, but I use the analogy a lot, probably shouldn't, but it's what I use a lot of. The William Brady trade stunned Kenny, stunned. Yeah. Again, I'm going to go back. I'm walking you back because I didn't talk about this last week and I just forgot about it. But I went back and looked at some of the things happening 18, 17, or 17, 18, and 19, and really last year. But I think back that I would look at that. I remember getting off the plane in 2008. I flew from Dallas to Des Moines. I'm sorry, Dallas to Omaha, Omaha, and we were playing Lincoln. And I took a shuttle over from the airport at Omaha to Lincoln, about 50 minutes. And when I landed at the airport there in Omaha, I got a text saying we've traded Zach Walters. And I was like, wow. Now, we had just played in Grand Prairie down there. It was when we were playing in Grand Prairie. Now, Zach got ejected in a ball game down there, and I didn't think much about it. He got ejected in the ball game, the last game of the series, and I didn't think much about it. We had an off day. The team went home for a day before they went up to Lincoln. And I remember getting off the plane, I'm seeing my text, and I had to pull my stuff out there and basically the front ticket area, ticket area of the airport, and start writing a press release because I couldn't get it at the time. I'm trying to think who my staff was. I think I'd given them the day off because we had an off day, right? We had an off day before, so I said, "Oh, we'll be fine. I think everything's okay." I didn't expect anything to happen, so sometimes I gamble, and I think I was the one on call that day. It was my day to be on call, and I was on call, and I'm at the airport trying to get to Lincoln for the series that night. And so I'm scrambling to get this pitching change, get this release out, roster out, all that. And I was still trying to figure out, wow, we got Noah Perio Jr. and traded Zach Walters. And Zach Walters, I would tell you, was every bit as popular as Willie Abreu was. Maybe even more popular. Now, that's apples to oranges, perhaps different personalities, but this was a guy who was your best offensive player at the time. And you got a guy who was arguably St. Paul's top 2 players. In the end, who was the better player? Well, we did tell the tape at the very end of the year, and Noah Perio Jr. won the championship and won the trophy, and in every category was ahead of Zach Walters as a Monarch / T-Bone than Walters was as a Saint. And they both had great finishes, okay? They both had great finishes. And I don't remember, I can pull the numbers up for you, but I can pull those up in the broadcast tonight perhaps and talk about that a bit in the radio tonight. And I'll do that if I need to. but I can compare those apples to oranges. And both had really good years. That last 25, 30 games where we're at right now, but it was that move. And that move also brought you, again, Ryan Brett. Ryan Brett, which a lot of folks don't recall, but he picked him up and signed him. He showed up in Sioux City at the final series against Sioux City about this time. Ryan Brett, a former big league guy who came back and was a big part of things. Very much kind of the other move, right? So we have several of these moves that have happened. And I would tell you, I'm more excited about this club than I was the 18 club, which the 18 club went on to win kind of coming out of nowhere, but that club kind of came together late. This club's already kind of got a body of work. That 18 club was still trying to find its way. It was a wild card team too. Didn't even win the division. Sioux City did. And I'm excited about this club, where this club sits, because I've seen these things happen before. And again, you've added, and this is something I read this morning in Rob Paneer, who does This Week in the Association with Kevin Luco, his piece this morning saying that you had, who won the trade for Gio Brusa? Well, the Monarchs did, because I don't know how much Carlos Diaz is going to pitch this year. Now, he may, and I don't think, Lake Country is 8 games out now. I mean, I don't know if they have a chance, but they got to have a lot of things go right. And I guess if Cleburne and Gary don't get their stuff together, I guess that's a chance. But those two are kind of muddling around. Everyone can get any traction. Anyway, but he brought up a good point, and John Hernandez is coming back. You're going to see John Hernandez at some point. You'll see me. If you were going to see John Hernandez at some point, John Hernandez wouldn't be in that dugout and wouldn't be out there working his tail off every day trying to get back. So John Hernandez, you're going to see him at some point. Now, when that'll be, that watch starts this week. Is this club better with John Hernandez in it? Absolutely. Right? Is this club better with Malik Smith at the top of the card? Absolutely. Did you see what he did this weekend? He basically creates a run. He created a run out of thin air. And you're going to need a run out of thin air now and then. And he's going to be able to create them. He literally created a run, getting a board, right? I think he got hit, steals second. Then I believe the single to right by Robson moves him to third. So they're at first and third, double steal attempt, and they throw to second they do get Robson at second. But Smith comes home standing for 1-0 lead. I tell you, Kane County probably, in retrospect, if they'd been thinking, they won't throw that ball to second. They'll hold that runner and take their chances. They just gave a run up, and most teams are going to realize, we can't do that. Giving them a run, we're going to make them earn that run, but putting the ball in play. And that was created yesterday. And that's exciting. And then you look what Matt Adams is doing. Good grief. That guy had home run yesterday, 2 doubles on Friday, a double on Saturday, and he was your offense. Now, granted, we didn't score anything on Saturday, but he drove in, scored 9 in the series. I think he just drove in 5 of them. Wow. Let's see what I miss here. And that's the thing, guys. That's why, and I try to help you guys out. And Kenny and I know each other a long time. I try to give you guys as much insight as I can into sort of why these things happen. So let's walk back to the week. And again, that's why I tell you the story about Noah Perio Jr. and what happened at 18 Monarchs / T-Bones Club. They won a championship, right? A championship. I could go to the, and there was a couple of moves too. There was a pitching move here. There was a couple of small moves, but this club made it a bold move, and that bold move was needed to kind of shake the deck chairs up. This was adding to your already solid core, is what the Monarchs did this week. You can't keep them all, and to get Malik Smith, Jacob Robson, and Gio Brusa, and Ryan Grotjohn, to get those 4 pieces, and also have a spot. And also you got Jan Hernandez. Those 5 pieces. Somebody in that had to go, and that's the beauty of your roster being strong like that. And so I would tell you that. Chris says Malix reminds me of Terrence Gore, Jared Dyson. Yes, let me tell you right now. There's nobody, and this is not against anybody else. Chase Harris is the only guy I can think of in this league who I think you can almost write his name down at second base right now. Now, Cleveland's got a pretty fast team, so I shouldn't say it that way. They've got a top to bottom quick team, but I would say the one guy that you say, well, that guy gets aboard, he's trouble. It might be Chase Harris, but I think again, this is the guy, Malik Smith, who stole 45 bases, led the American League a couple of years ago. That's not by accident. This guy knows what he's doing, and he's a professional, and he's going to be a good piece of this team in the stretch. I think this is the piece that granted, it's not a piece you had. You're not a bad base running club, but you become a really good base running club suddenly. You're a good base running club. You're right in the upper third of the league in base running. Stolen bases and team speed. I mean, Darnell Sweeney, 25 stolen bases. David Thompson, Casey Gillespie's 5 of 5. But now you become a team that's really threatening on the base paths, in the alleys, over the fence. I mean, offensively, you got this thing pretty sorted. And it's all going to come together, but it's going to take a couple days. And you're yet to see this whole thing, and you're really not going to have it all together because you're still waiting for John Hernandez to get back. And wow, when he gets back, right? And while this thing's been kind of coming together, I want to give a tip of the cap to a couple of guys. Casey Gillespie, for one, who's been as steady as they come. Darnell Sweeney, another. And J.C. Escada, he's been really good too. Back and forth, different positions, but he's been really good too, hitting around 300 in the last couple of weeks. I mean, these are guys that we kind of slept on. You've got some people here. And then, of course, Big City, what he does, right? So maybe we need to put a cap on the stolen base. You know what? I would normally say that, Hope. I would normally say that, but I'm really looking forward to making a great donation this year. And if I have to, not eat on a road trip or something, I'm more willing to do that. I'm more willing to do that. But yeah, Cash, can you imagine, if we had it been here all year? No doubt. Oops, sorry about that. Let's see here. But yeah, those guys are doing what they got to do behind the scenes. Now, the other thing as we go forward to the segment of August, these are all August, segment of August things. Other thing is, where the pitching staff stands. And again, you lost games. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you I'm not trying to tell you things didn't go wrong. Yes, you lost games last week. Lost too many games last week. Lost a series twice. Okay, and yes, that happened. But tell me you would not have taken the rotation performance this weekend. Who would have not taken that? I mean, Hartman, outstanding, quality start, right? Brock Gilliam was tossed in a situation on Friday? Yeah, Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. And they scored 3 runs. That's it. And he was good. I think that was good work. Granted, he's not stretched out yet, but I think Brock's only going to get better. And Nick Belzer, who's coming back now and getting his sea legs and starting to go forward with the momentum, that's just the weekend. It doesn't count what you saw from Lewis Thorpe last week, right? Now, John Harris did lead the start early, so it's, I take him out of the mix. And you know what Matt Hall's going to do, right? Matt Hall does what Matt Hall does. He gives you a chance to win every time out, which he did again last time. So out of the 5 spots in your rotation, the one injury, so you take that out of the mix. Are you not excited about that? I'm fired up about it. Freaking fired up about it. I mean, pretty solid. And I take my chances with those bodies any given time, any given day. You don't have a situation where you go, well, if it goes right. We saw from Matt Hartman's what I told you was going to happen. I told you guys he would look that way, and he did. He was outstanding, and you're only going to see that get better. So anyway, again, I guess I feel like I'm talking right off the ledge, but I just kind of look back at the week that was, and it was a real downer week in the win and loss column. But it's sometimes it's the old, if you're a parent, you know this, the growing pains, the tough love, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes those steps backwards or those scuffed knees or whatever are going to make you better. And I think that's what I'm trying to get to. That while, and Joe and I talked about this several times, while our football caps tell us, oh my gosh, we lost all those games, we're terrible. Our baseball cap says, well, wait a second. The rotation did this. The offense is going to do this. This is what we added. We've subtracted and added these pieces, and we're going to put them all together, and we're going to cook whatever we're going to cook. Now, there's always a chance it doesn't work, right? There's a chance. But your body of work tells you it's probably going to work. And if it doesn't work, your body of work puts you in a position to at least take your puncher's chance in the postseason. So my baseball cap says, good Lord, your head is big. Funny, very Stino, you're very funny. I'm counting you for one lines and draw me off sides. Very good stuff. Very, very good stuff. All right, final call and questions. I got to get my workout in, and perhaps, it's almost 1 o'clock. Gee, when Christmas. I need to get some lunch too. Lunch, workout. I guess I'll work out, skip lunch. We did stop last night on the way back from Chicagoland at the world's largest truck stop there on Interstate 80. Have you guys ever stopped this place? Pretty crazy. Well, anyway, there was a music festival going on between the Quad Cities and Iowa City. I think we're a little closer to Iowa City. I'm not really sure, because I know we crossed the river. And I remember John saying we were stopping at 15 minutes, remember Michael saying that, but it seemed like it was a little further than that. But there was a music festival going on somewhere in the middle between Iowa City and the Quad Cities. And it was, I think, a country music festival, perhaps. And it may have been right there, that area where there must be some kind of amphitheater where this truck stop or something. But all these young kids, I would say ages 18 to mid 20s, in cowboy boots, and they were, and the girls are wearing shorts and cowboy boots, and they're wearing shorts and tennis shoes, whatever. They had mud all around their jeans, and they had been out in the mud. I think they've all been out mud bogging. They've been at a concert, and I was standing behind in the Wendy's line with these two young ladies, and they were showing their videos of the show. So it was a country show, but I remember Michael and I were standing there, and I remember our driver, and they told him who it was. I don't know what the show was, like something Valley Music Festival. And anyway, this place, this truck stop was packed already, right? But normal busy. It's the world's largest truck stop, right? It's got a Wendy's, a Dairy Queen, a coffee shop, a Pizza Hut, a Taco Bell, and it's got trucks on display, and they got a diner, and they've got, a truck wash where you pull your truck into a big, like a car wash you drive through, like your car drives through, a truck drives through. They have, decent, clean restrooms, like Buc-ee's almost. It was very Buc-ee's-esque without the Buc-ee-ness. Does that make sense? It was Buc-ee's without the Buc-ee-ness turned into a truck stop, right? With plenty of snacks. Anyway, so we're all in the line, but this place is a zoo. So we stopped there last night, and that kind of put us behind. But it was unbelievable, all the people in this place, and they were lined up, and then it's like Taco Bell said, "Oh my gosh, we're closed." So Taco Bell closes. Probably cost them some money. If I'm the manager, I'm probably ticked off my people today. But Wendy's banked. And so did Dairy Queen. They banked too. Pizza Hut, I think they were kind of closed too. I think they may have been closed beforehand. Anyway, That place made big bucks. All right, tonight, pitching matchup. It'll be Lewis Thorpe facing another left-hander tonight, and the lefty going for the Explorers. I pull this up for you quickly here. And let's tell you about the lefty tonight. They've got several of them. I know Leday's going on Wednesday. Today is Blaine Hardy, the veteran Blaine Hardy. Hardy is 2-2 and a 4.53 against Fargo. Last time out, he went 3 1/3, 3 hits. He left that ball game. He looks like he's been working mostly in relief here. So he's going to make a start today he's been relieving, it looks like here. Well, he did start. This is second start, I guess. Third start, pardon me. Like his numbers, his sample size is 3 innings. So I had to do a little more work here, but I thought Hardy was starting, but Blaine Hardy going tonight for the Explorers against Lewis Thorpe. Hardy, I do believe, has got been some veteran time. I believe he pitched. I think he pitched in the big leagues. I think that's right. That sounds right. I'm running behind today because I didn't get that until about an hour ago, so it's all good. Anyway, airtime tonight. I don't know about the dual stream. I think they have capabilities, but I don't know. But I will tell you what we do know. We do know the Monarchs Broadcast Network on MixLR tonight will be on. And should we have the dual stream, I'll promote that here this afternoon until I know for sure. Tigers and Brewers, yeah. I say Milwaukee was one. I didn't know about the Brewers. I knew about the Brewers. Tigers wasn't sure about. But we faced him before. He was a Brewer. I do know that. That's right. Thanks for that. You're correct. I got that just before we went on the air, and I haven't even done any of my research, which is terrible, but it's a lot sometimes to remember. I have found something interesting tonight that I'm going to talk about in the broadcast. I found a little tidbit that I don't know how much I can find more of it, but there's a connection between Jesse Owens, the Olympic gold medalist of 1936, and the Negro Leagues. Now, it's not directly a Monarchs connection, but it's to Oscar Charleston, who a guy I've talked a lot about, and I think a phenomenal story about him. It's that connection. And Charleston may be the top 5 player of all time, and for some reason has not gotten his due. But Oscar Charleston and Jesse Owens, and there's a Monarch story there too. And all came through. This is a classic example of me finding a story of the Monarchs playing in Oklahoma City in 1938. And they're playing at Holland Field in OKC, the original park there. And I find that Jesse Owens is going to be doing an exhibition race as part of the game. Then I go to find out that they're playing they're not playing the Crawfords where I thought they're playing, but the Toledo Crawfords. And there's a lot more story to that. I'm not going to give it to you all now, but it's interesting stuff. That'll be on the pregame tonight. The flashback moment is about the ball game itself. And then Monarchs 101 tonight. I'm going to kind of give you a little insight to what happened to the Crawfords and what their story post Pittsburgh was, because they left Pittsburgh. Greenlee got rid of the club and they wound up moving. And of course, the Crawfords were rivals of the Monarchs. We wore those throwback jerseys. We wore them last year. Talk a bit about that. And the Jesse Owens wrinkle in the whole story, which is interesting. Just note, and a little Jesse Owens that I didn't know about, because all I know of Jesse Owens, he was a track star and basically gave the fear of the bird. Not even the bird, but there's a lot more to it. And I didn't realize all that. So we'll get to a little bit of that on Monarchs 101 with DB tonight. Kind of just one of those things that it's baseball with some track and field and what happened to the Crawfords, because the Crawfords, unlike the Monarchs, who, even though the Monarchs finally do leave Kansas City in the 1960s and go up to right 50s and go to Benton Harbor, go up to Grand Rapids area, Michigan area, the Monarchs they never fold. And they fight through all that stretch where a lot of teams were folding left and right. And the Crawfords are one that didn't survive. And always in my head, I think the Crawfords being one of their legacy team, but they didn't last like the Monarchs did. It's something I found out at the St. Louis club as well the day before when I talked about the New Orleans St. Louis team. And these are things that I'm learning left and right that I think we all should talk and learn about, the history of the Negro Leagues. And we'll do that on Monarchs 101 tonight with DB. That's the last segment of the pregame show. And that'll come your way on AA Baseball. Actually be on MixLR tonight. Again, I think on AA Baseball, but I'll go ahead and put it up there and hope that I'm not jinxing it. So let's go ahead and just say that. AA Baseball TV. You folks that watch that will get that on AA Baseball TV because that comes the last segment. I don't know when they start there. And then, of course, the radio side. There we go. The radio side is we have all of our chats going on. MixLR tonight. That begins at 6:35 because we games at 7:05. 6:35 from here in Sioux City. At 6 o'clock, I'll check in with you on Monarchs Live for a quick lineup update, any news and notes to get you caught up. And the broadcast begins tonight from here at Mercy Field at Lewis and Clark Park. Game one of a 3-game series. The Monarchs and the Sioux City Explorers are final time here this year in the regular season. Although the last 2 times we said that, we've come back here for postseason play, and Sioux City finds themselves, well, technically in the play. Well, they're in the playoff hunt, but technically they're in 5th place, but they're tied with the Lincoln Salt Dogs at percentage points behind them in the standings. How about that? So Explorers suddenly are knocking. Not only is Winnipeg knocking on your door, Sioux City's knocking on Lincoln's door. And I mentioned that these races at the bottom are going to be fun, and this one down at the bottom will be fun for Lincoln and Sioux City. All right, you guys ready for a 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs? I'm ready. Bring this down before we do this. Thanks for fighting through the early technical interwebs. And let's bring that down. Let's bring this down. So this is easy, right? There we go. All right. Here we go. All right, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. I'll see the broadcast with everybody. Play the close here. There we go.